So now we are going to talk about our four-sided polygons, the quadrilaterals, where we have a few main types of quadrilaterals that we will consider. We have our parallelograms, which are the quadrilaterals in which both pairs of opposite sides are parallel and have the same measure, where you have the same opposite angles. So this is kind of like a quadrilateral made out of your parallel line, made out of a couple pairs of tilted parallel lines, making a couple of transversals, where specifically a rhombus is a parallelogram that has all four sides with the same length. Then a rectangle is a parallelogram where all four of the angles formed are right. And a square would be a parallelogram where all four angles are right, so a rectangle where all four of the sides also have the same measure. So you can consider the square the right quadrilateral or the rhombus with 90-degree angles. There's a bunch of different ways you can think about squares. And then finally, we have the oddball in there, the trapezoid, where the trapezoid is the quadrilateral where only one pair of sides are parallel. And then from here, we can do one example looking at quadrilaterals within the context of perimeter. So I'm going to take an applied example here. Let's suppose you want to enclose a rectangular field with side lengths 42 and 28 yards, and you want to figure out how much this will cost, assuming that your fencing costs $15.75 per yard. So if you don't have a picture for this given, which we'll see for a second, you might not always have a picture, so it's usually good form to try and draw out what it is you're trying to do. And again, we're not going to rely on drawing skills being our greatest strength here, so we're just going to get sort of a top-down view on our yard. Maybe that's you out here tending your yard. You're unusually tall, I guess, and you've got a dog or something with you. Something like that. Like I said, this isn't about art, this is about perimeter. So we have that on this thing. That side is 42 yards. This side is 28 yards, where since this is a rectangle up to my ability to draw straight lines, both of these opposite sides will have the same side lengths. So if we want to find the perimeter, we can use the formula, the general formula for perimeter of a rectangle, which is sometimes written 2L plus 2H, 2 times the length plus 2 times the height, or length and width, however you want to call that, which here you could say is 2 times 42 plus 2 times 28. Look at that, you might think, okay, that would mean that the value we want to find, the value we're looking for here is just 140 yards. But remember, we're not looking for the size of the yard we're trying to make here. We're trying to find out how much it would cost to fence this whole thing in. So I'm just drawing like a squiggly little fence we're trying to make to keep that dog from running away, I guess. So for this, what we'd have to do is take the amount of fencing we have, or the amount of fencing we need, and multiply that by how much it costs. So kind of a callback to the stuff we did at the end of Chapter 1, problem solving. Our total cost will just be the product of the number of yards times the cost per yard. So 140 times 1575, or if you prefer, $2,205. It's going to be a pretty expensive fence.